Hi, and welcome back to The Vision Within. I'm Lori.
I'm Loretta.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Katrina.
And today we wanted to talk about just finding some balance during the holidays and wrapping up the year, because as Kat was saying just before we started, if you want to learn where your work is, spend a little time with your relatives. so anyway, we've all experienced that. So we're just going to kind of explore that topic and where the year has left us right now. So Lisa, what about you?
Oh, okay. I hear two topics in that.
Okay.
I'm going to start with finding balance in the in the holidays. Well, I guess the first thing that's popping in my mind is the recurring theme that plays in our mind, like a recording,
Right.
that holidays are supposed to be fun and you get to be with your relatives. Yet you also have this recording theme that it's stressful and it's time to buy gifts and everybody's list and checking off everything and getting cards out, which I've eliminated. Of course, maybe in the world now we don't do many cards.
Right.
So I guess the balance is, I was talking about this the other day in a group of us, order versus chaos. So maybe even the holidays, there's this order versus chaos. And how do you balance that? Order being you've got all the presents wrapped, but chaos is when you've got everything strewn out and you don't have anything done yet.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's, for me, it's about mindfulness. And that has really been the biggest thing that I've looked at right now, because I constantly have to remind myself, I only have this moment. And for me, over Thanksgiving, it was very much that dichotomy. Here I had my partner who's wanting to go to his family's house, and I'm really wanting to stay home, and how do you balance that, and obviously I'm still working, because we want to honor ourselves and use our voice and say, hey, I really just want to be home. Go enjoy yourself. And at the same time, if you choose to be in a partnership, which is such a blessing, which it shows us where a lot of our work is, and it always talks about, the power of two. And so when I went, I didn't get caught up at all in any of the stories. I just looked at each person and I thought, something about them is an amazing blessing, and I found the blessing in each person. And it was interesting because then my partner, we didn't participate in any of they wanted to watch all these TV things, and we were upstairs by ourselves watching the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah.
And so it really, it helped. I think, one, it helped him too, because he had someone who backed him up that said, hey, I don't want to be part of that craziness. And it helped me because we got a lot closer watching these loving TV shows together. So it's, for me, it was being present.
Awesome. What about you?
Well, you mentioned work and year end and trying to find balance, and on top of the wrapping of the presents and getting the Christmas tree up, there's also, at work, everybody's scrambling to get things done before the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, it's double work, double stress, trying to get everything done. And what I've also noticed too, especially in this busy time of year, is actually how many what I'll call time sucks that I have, right?
That's a great one.
So, honestly, I was actually I wrote myself a note yesterday in my journal. Stay off of Facebook so much, because it's like you can get so wrapped up in those things, and all of a sudden literally like 30 minutes are gone,
right?
And when we're already struggling to find the time and the space to take care of everything we have to, I've really just noticed what I'll call my time sucks, what my time sucks are, and I have to really kind of like seriously I have to like
You
push
need to
the
coin
weight.
that phrase.
I know, exactly.
I like that.
That's exactly right. And so, and really just eliminating those type of things, and also, being very aware of what I'm capable of at that moment and not, right? So, do I really need to work every night until, 7 or 8 o'clock?
Right.
Probably not so much. Maybe I need to delegate a little bit more. Maybe I need to, not worry if the Christmas tree is not up perfectly. I mean, so really being kind to ourselves and not going into super overdrive just because we feel the urgency to get some things done.
Right. What about you, Kat?
I'm in a little bit of a different situation in that no kids. I do live alone in my condo. And I really was excited to have balance this year because being a business coach and having been in retail for, 150 years, I
so
was
young looking.
Oh, I know. I sleep in formaldehyde every night, so I'm so well preserved. I'm pickled. Who knew?
Formaldehyde.
There you go. I know, right? Mm-hmm. But I think the thing that was awesome this year is that, I wasn't standing outside of a major retailer that I may have once worked for, hint, hint, and handing out flyers for people on Thanksgiving evening and throwing my family's Thanksgiving up in the air because everything revolved around at that point, my job. And so I really wanted to have balance. So I had a great meal with my family. I took my dog to, I know this sounds really ridiculous, but I just really wanted to be present. And I took my dog to a different park every single day that I was off during that week.
Oh, that's nice.
And we're talking about Thanksgiving. For the
I'm sorry, we are talking about Thanksgiving.
Yeah. We haven't gotten Christmas yet.
We haven't.
This is what, December 2nd?
It is December 2nd.
2017.
Yeah.
So for Thanksgiving, it was really awesome to be able to be present and really focus on my family. And, I was a little bit nervous about what that would be like because my parents are at a different place in their life and they're focusing on different things. And so I see our relationship evolving just because of where they are in their life and some of the decisions they're making about possible relocation, et cetera, et cetera. So we had this wonderful family dinner that we all contributed to. We invited a couple of neighbors over from their neighborhood for dessert who, otherwise either weren't with family or, had very limited opportunity to feel kind of included in some gatherings. And we had a wonderful time. And I just really loved being in nature with my dog. And I loved having that balance and being with friends. And it was just a beautiful contrast and intention that I had set compared to what I'd experienced in years past. And I was and continue to be so grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah, well, what I'm hearing Laurie and Kat saying is that you saw past the chaos and saw the light in the situation and in the people.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that is different from the past. That's the past paradigm was to resist and defend and respond and react.
Right.
And then you're talking about time sucks, and that has a couple meanings.
Time sucks, not time.
I know,
sucks.
but I'm showing the other one.
Right.
So time does suck, right? And it sucks us.
Right.
Time sucks like a whirlpool.
It's a vortex.
A vortex.
Yeah.
And I think in the holidays, getting back to this not getting everything done and don't have enough time to get everything done and the stress, if we can reflect upon, two things. First of all, we can see the light in all situations. But more importantly, too, we always have enough time.
Right.
That we can see the reverse of time sucks.
Right.
Right.
I mean, we have to recognize that time has sucked us in. Yet, in the new paradigm going forward, or really what's here, because love is all that's here, is that time is infinite. That really there isn't time, right?
Right.
It's our own self-imposed time.
Well, and I'm reading this really, really wonderful book, and it, of course, the synchronicity, it's so beautiful when I open it up each day. It's perfect.
Right.
But I absolutely love and appreciate the work of Dr. Pedram Shojai, and you can find him on The Urban Monk. I mean, he's done incredible work, and he's got some amazing films coming out now. One on prosperity that's about to launch. So really amazing work. And he has this book that I bought, The Art of Stopping Time. And my last chapter was just, to your point, time sucks. And I'm trying to think of the word that he used, but he was like, identify the energy vampires close to you, within your family too, and where is your time being lost? That's also, there was what was the book that we followed that had to do with energy mapping, that about time management that we have the class.
Oh, that was, yes. I was like, what?
Yes.
Hold on. It's sitting on my nightstand.
Yes, it's a course that's offered at Stanford University.
Oh.
Yes, and
I can't think of what it's called. I'll probably think of it 5 minutes after we're done with
Yeah,
this segment. So,
just
you
get
know,
it
there's
out.
that.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
more to come on that.
right.
Yeah.
But similar. So it's boundaries again too. And so one of the things I noticed when I was at Thanksgiving in Iowa was when you think of, you said waves and it's a vortex, how do we get out of that? We have to go under the surface. So if you're in a bumpy ocean and you're feeling seasick, you want to go down to where it's calm on the bottom of the water and you're not being swayed by the waves. So we can do that in meditation, but if you're all wound up and you can't do that, I just went outside. Nature's going to balance you real
Yes,
quickly.
exactly.
Take a break. You know, just like you would put kids in timeout, give yourself a timeout and go outside.
Well, I love the fact that you and Mark decided to take a break
That's
rather
right.
than try to change those
That's right.
people and
That's
say
right.
you guys should be watching the Hallmark movie rather than all these
No.
crazy other shows or whatever, or
We didn't
debating
even
all
say.
these issues. You just excused yourself,
Right.
had compassion for those that
Yes.
were playing in that. That didn't sound like playing with love to you, so you went upstairs and watched the Hallmark movies, which are all about love.
They are.
Yep.
And I mean, we couldn't take our eyes off of it. We got upset when they wanted to turn it off during the meal.
Yeah.
We're just like,
Don't you get inspired to
Oh,
be
yes.
so much more loving when you
Yeah.
watch
Yes,
those?
I do.
so inspiring.
Yeah.
And you know that they're sort of adult fairy tale-esque.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's still wonderful
Yes.
to believe that there are places
Yeah.
and people who still operate from
Yeah.
that perspective. Such
Yeah.
a huge heart perspective.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love that about the Hallmark Channel. So
I do too.
you know what? You are preaching the choir, sister.
Yeah.
Ooh, love me some Hallmark Channel. I don't
So,
have it. But
All really good, good things to help find balance. One, determine your energy sucks, and then reframe what your time is, and don't get sucked into the vortex. And be at peace and excuse yourself or meditate or however you need to do. And find joy in each moment and each person.
I agree. And I really like what you said too, Lisa, about not trying to change or sway everyone to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
To just say, you know what, this feels really good to me right now. I'm maybe going to go for a walk.
Right.
Who would like to join me?
Right.
And you invite them to come into that energy with you versus
Yes.
trying to change what's already there. That was a huge learning for me this year.
Right,
Huge
because
learning
if
for me
we
this year.
try to change what's already there, then we're bringing that into even more focus,
Right.
that frequency that we're
That's
not
right.
aligned with,
Right.
as opposed to walking away and making it farther away.
Yes.
It's like we were talking in
Yeah.
another situation where when I go visit my daughter in LA, that's 2,000 miles away from Indiana. And my home here and my cats and you guys and all the things I do with you seems so far away because now I'm focused on LA and all of that, everything there, my daughter's life.
Right.
It's like I can't even hardly tune into this.
Yeah.
So the beauty is, I just am seeing a camera. So how easy it is to shift focus.
Right.
How easy that is when you change the f-stop.
Yeah.
Fun stop. When you change the fun stop.
Yeah.
Either the background goes blurry or the front periphery goes blurry and the back becomes crisp.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. And I invited Mark's dad to come with me for a morning walk, or I asked him rather if I could go on his morning walk. Okay.
Invite yourself along?
Invited myself along.
Love that.
Yes. And he always goes a certain way. So another tool is go off the beaten path. I said, last time I was here, I turned on this street. Have you ever gone down here? And he was like, no. I said, well, there's a guy carved an eagle out of a tree that he cut down in his front yard, and he carved, it's an incredible piece of art that had been a tree. And so he was like, no. So we ended up turning left. He saw that. I showed him where a bridge was over the river. He said, I have lived here
Wow.
30 some years, and I have never gone down the street. It was 1 block away.
Oh my gosh.
One
Yeah.
block
Going off the beaten path puts us in another, like we focus on things we've never focused on before.
Yes,
and so
and
what
that
does
was
that
another
mean to
chapter.
us?
It's another.
What does that
But
mean
not
to
only
us?
that, I think that going down a different path, because when we go down the same path, we don't see it anymore.
Correct.
We're just on autopilot. But going down a different path, all of a sudden we're awake again, and we're like, oh my gosh, look at this or look at this. And I think because we can become stagnant just like anything, right?
Right.
So
Good point.
just adding a good, refreshing new perspective, or even if you see one thing different that maybe sparks a thought that and you follow that thought and opens up, so many new things for yourself. So
That reminds me of Eckhart Tolle being in the power of now.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Well, and what we were talking about just a little bit, Lisa, too, if you want to look at it from a frequency standpoint, this is huge, which, I was saying, gosh, you want to talk about maybe a little break in binary code and how you jump frequency quickly.
Right.
A trick with hypnosis is a very quick induction. If you go and reach for someone's hand with your right hand and they reach out with their left, and at the last minute you put their left hand, there's an instantaneous short circuit, and then they, you can say sleep and count them down, and they drop. And it's because it rewires our brain just for a moment. So when we go off the beaten path, like going from, you said when you said the A letter to 444, C becomes 528 hertz. Just if you were listening to music and switched your channel, just going from a song that was started with A at
444. Oh, 440.
440 versus 444, just that 4 degree and hertz difference.
Huge.
I think would be huge. And so taking us off a path gets us out of a loop. And it forces our brain to make a new connection.
Right.
Oh,
Exactly.
good point.
Yeah.
That
it
The
never,
frequency connection we've
that we haven't made before. And that's growth.
That is.
Okay, this is going to sound really goofy, but that's why I took my dog to a different park every day, because I thought, okay, if I really want her to be like, because I thought, I've got this great time off with her. I don't have to take her anywhere. I don't have to leave her at home. I don't have to. So if I want her to bring her some joy, I was reading this article that talked about how dogs are engaged through their sense of smell, which we know because it's heightened extremely compared to our own. And so, but that's where all their engagement comes from, is their ability to smell. And I think there was a movie about A Dog's Life or something like that, where the dog goes through these different incarnations, the soul of this dog. And there's one scene where he's a golden retriever, and he's sitting with the window down, and he's got his eyes closed, and his ears are flapping in the breeze, and he's got his nose stuck up in the air, and he's like, hey, farmer, like this other dog, and ice cream. Like he can smell all these things going by, and
That's so great.
fresh baked cookies, corn on the cob. Like he can smell everything. So that's their big way of being engaged. And I thought, okay, well, that would be awesome. And that's how they, like I said, stay engaged, have new neural transmitters or pathways that are connected. And so I took her to a different place every day that some we'd been to before, but it'd been a long time, and others, we weren't.
Yeah.
And I mean to tell you, she was full of the business every single day. It was awesome.
Yes.
And so I keep thinking that's the same. It's sort of the same for
It
them.
totally is. Yeah.
Right.
And how we offer those opportunities to our pets too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
And I find too, when I am not hurried, when I want to relax and go outside and I can be fully present, that's I leave my phone at home. That's one of my best times of the day, is when I get to take, a walk with my dog.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of my little spiel about the dog and how their neural pathways are opened up by the new experiences and sense that they have kind of on their own journey.
Well, and a lot too, talking about the neural pathways, I was just having a conversation yesterday. That is how, this was a woman who works with kids with ADD, ADHD on the autism scale, and they introduce a sound that then gets the mind to focus on that sound, which allows other neural pathways to open. And so the beautiful thing with always switching up is we're taking the phone away and that kind of thing. And everybody, Mark's mom was shared an article about Mark Zuckerberg and how he was saying that he actually has regrets about creating Facebook because of how much time
wow.
people have
Well,
lost.
it's an addiction. It becomes an addiction.
Yes.
You know, Loretta,
And so
you've got a
it's-
cat and a dog.
I do.
You're the only one that has both.
Yes.
And talking about balancing in the holidays, have you noticed as the holidays, you know, the Thanksgiving is past, have you noticed any difference in the cat and the dog that you have? I mean, any attitudinal nervousness?
Well, yeah, the dog lately has been very low key. You know, laying around a lot, not wanting to be so active, and
Interesting.
you know, I don't know if it's anything to do with the weather or because maybe I'm running around. So
Yeah.
you know,
He's trying to balance.
He's like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and stay out of the way over here.
exactly. And the cat is just as energetic as ever. I mean, she's only a year old, so she's getting into
Yeah.
everything still. So she's not changed. But he definitely has. But I think the cat's more independent. I'm not saying that cats don't tune into their owners, but right now, because she's so young, it's all about her. You know, but the dog is like almost connected to my hip. I mean, wherever I go, he follows me, right? So I think he's just more in tune, maybe, to what I'm feeling also.
So he's supporting you more. I've noticed my cats get more hyper when things are moving fast around the house.
Yeah.
They
It's
thrive
just
off the energy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we have been, once again, around the bend. We've
Yeah.
talked a little bit about calm versus chaos, order versus chaos, really. We've talked about the energy of what the holidays bring to us, the intentions that we set, how our pets affect us, and how we affect them in terms of the holidays. And we've discussed lots of great points. You know, it might be a really great topic to talk about our pets around the holidays, too, at some point, just a consideration. But for the time being, we're so glad to have had you join us. And I'm Katrina.
And I'm Lori.
Loretta.
And I'm Lisa.
And we ask you to leave comments and to join us on our Facebook page and leave comments below on Rising Tides Global.
And also, we have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
And that is the Vision Within YouTube channel. So please go there where all our videos are.
Yes.
Awesome.
That's
Thank you so
fantastic.
much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.